Well, look, I want to talk to you about something that really upset me this week. I've been a huge fan of Costa Coffee for quite some time. I admit that I normally have the tea rather than the coffee, but I still like going to the shop. And I have to say that I was absolutely disgusted by what I saw when you looked at this new advert. They've got this cartoon where they've got somebody who's supposed to be a trans man with a double mastectomy. Now, do you know what? On my radio show, we've been talking to so many women who've really struggled as a result of the fact they've had breast cancer and had one boob removed or both of them removed, and they feel less of a woman, they feel less feminine, they feel less sexy, they feel completely ashamed and embarrassed. Well, what's happened now? And it's something called hate clicks, where deliberately you offend the public in order to get more coverage for your particular product. Well, Costa have done that with the double mastectomy. Hugely offensive to women, hugely embarrassing, and something that's going to really, really upset them. I want to strike out something for the women that have suffered from breast cancer. I want to strike out for the women that have gone through all that heartache. I want to strike one out for the children who've really care about their mothers and have lost them. And I want to strike one out for the husbands who've lost their wives and the families that have been ripped apart. I'm not going to bother with this product anymore. I think that Costa Coffee is an absolute waste of time. What? I think that they have absolutely disgraced this country, and I think that they should absolutely get out of it. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to show you this piece of the Costa Coffee cup, because I am damn sick of the way that decent, hard-working mums in this country are humiliated and damaged by people who arrive wearing sports bras when they don't need them, when they've got their Doc Martens with all sorts of trans adverts all over them, and most of all, when they make the double mastectomy, one of the most horrendously embarrassing, hurtful, painful and sickening things that can happen to a woman. When they make it a sign of masculinity, they can bog off, as far as I'm concerned.
They can bog off, exactly.
It's something that we should all stand up for.
There is coffee now all over the front of the desk now.
So obviously, first of all, I want to apologise to the News UK cleaners, because unfortunately there is coffee. They can have that as well, I don't care. But is this a story that has hit the United States of America?
It is not. This one in particular has not hit the United States, but beverage brands that have adopted or decided to embrace certain members of the transgender community and done so seemingly in the face of their fan base and their customer base and what their taste would necessarily be, have been very controversial, as I'm sure you guys have been monitoring the Bud Light situation recently. So, and seeing what, has gotten Andre peeved, and very, justifiably so. The idea that a double mastectomy is just a little cute thing that should be part of a marketing campaign is quite offensive.
I just wonder how they feel about. I mean, you wouldn't dare put a cup with a woman who had huge breast implants on the front or anything like that.
I'm not against it, Danielle.
Well, I thought we're supposed to be advocating, be proud of what you are.
Yeah, but
be proud of how you're born.
Made a good
I was just going to say, would you put somebody? There's been no coffee cup with anyone with a prosthetic arm or a prosthetic leg on it.
Yeah, what about?
And these people were born that way in a lot of situations.
What about guys who've been injured in the defence of freedom in Iraq and Afghanistan? If you're going to have something like that, how about be life-affirming with those people? We started off, Lois, with this idea of depicting people with mastectomies in the media, and we did it for the following reason. It must be horrendously embarrassing. It's like testicular cancer, except for the fact it's very hard to disguise it. You feel less of a woman.
My grandma lost
feminine.
her breast, and she lost her breast really late on in life when she was well into her late 70s, and yet still it was really, really distressing for her.
I can imagine. And some women can't have the implants or won't have them because they're concerned about some of the products.
She was too old, so they wouldn't give her implants.
But Lois, for me, the idea that you would now associate that with masculinity, with becoming a man, I think it just sticks it. By the way, I'm gonna eat this piece of the coffee cup symbolically because I want to poo it out later.
Well, I think
chew away.
Well done, Andre.
Right. See, Costa, now you're going to be part of Andre's
anatomy.
Absolutely.
I was going to say poop, but that sounds much better.
I think what I would say to that is they don't really want to celebrate diversity. They want to celebrate the choice aspect, because if it was, you're right, if it was about diversity, then you would have people, you would have war veterans and people that have had genuine mastectomies.
Barbie's done a great job. Have you seen they've got some Barbies in wheelchairs, they've got a Barbie with a prosthetic leg, they've got a Barbie wearing braces on her teeth. It's great. It's like,
I must admit, I haven't got any of those Barbies in my collection, but I should have Barbies.
Go to
I should do.
Sainsbury's.
But I think
if Herb Leisure does one,
I think there is one thing. I think that the whole idea of, say, having a Barbie in a wheelchair. I mean, I had a friend of mine when I worked in Parliament, whose daughter was run over and lost her foot. Now, obviously, I think she must have been about 8 or 9 years old. That's a horrendous thing. And when you have sort of disabled Barbie, we might all have a bit of a chuckle about it. But if your child is disabled, that's a great thing. This is a very different proposition, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I remember when my sister's a mixed race. Their father's Jamaican, and you couldn't get mixed race Barbies for a long time. And I remember in America getting her a mixed race Cabbage Patch doll, and you couldn't get them in the UK, and she loved it.
I bet she did.
Absolutely loved it, but they didn't have those in the UK at the time. We're talking about 30 years ago.
There's a heavier Barbie as well. There's a heavier Barbie who's clearly a larger lady than the other Barbies.
There's a big tubber.
There's a
big tubber.
There's a tubber Barbie.
I told you this story, Andre, didn't I? My daughter sort of winces when I remind her about this, but she did ask me when she was 7 if I could get her a fat Barbie so her other Barbies could bully her.
Oh no!
She feels really bad about it now, and she sort of did this sort of muttly.
It's okay, you've just told everybody who's listening what
But actually, that is one thing that obviously toys and things that you see depicted in the media will affect kids. Well, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about today, and we will have a laugh on the show, I absolutely promise. We've got 2 great guest co-hosts with us, and
you've got me here, and I can't speak today.
So despite Danielle being here, it'll be absolutely fantastic.